Hello to all of you, my lovely students in the 10th grade. It's me, your English teacher, Iman Al-Jafari from Al Farouk Academy. In our lesson today, we are going to start with Unit 7. The title of this unit is In Suspense. As I told you, the title of Unit 7 is In Suspense. So if I ask you, what do you mean by the noun suspense? Excellent, بمعنى تشويق. So it is a feeling of nervousness or excitement because you are uncertain or unsure what is going to happen. لما أنت ما بتكون متأكد إيش الإشي اللي راح يصير بيكون في عندك شعور بالتوتر وهذا معنى in suspense. Okay? هلا so in this lesson you are going to identify the type of the text that you are going to read. وأكيد التكست اللي بدنا نقرأه راح يكون فيه suspense يعني راح ناخذ من عنوان هاي الوحدة. Then you are going to define the meanings of some words and phrases, and the last step you are going to read a part of the text and identify the main idea. The first step in our lesson today is about the type of the text. So the type of the text that you are going to read is an adventure story. Adventure story بمعنى قصة. Excellent. قصة فيها مغامرة. So in this adventure story we have the main character. Look at the first picture. He is Jamie. Okay. هلا Jamie was followed by three men. Okay, look at the second picture. We have the three men that were following Jamie. The first, the second, and the third. Okay, هلا the story happens in a barn at dawn. يعني هلا لو سألتك setting of the story يعني ما هي عناصر القصة أو المكان والزمان اللي حصلت فيه القصة فبتحكي لي المكان the place اللي هو كان in the barn. Okay, يعني في اسطبل dawn في الفجر. Okay, so from this slide we can extract the element of this story or the main elements of this story. هلا characters of this story we have Jamie, we have three men, and we have the farmer and his wife. What about the setting of this story? We have excellent. It happens in a barn. اطلع على الصورة اللي فيها Jamie. It happens in a barn at dawn. Okay. And now let's start with the meanings of some words and phrases. I have the adjective muffled. What do you mean by muffled? When we say it is a muffled sound, okay? So what do you mean by muffled sound? Excellent. It is unclear or not easy to hear, okay? Muffled يعني صوت مكتوم. مكتوم يعني ما بيكون واضح أو بيكون مو سهل علينا إنه نسمعه. Again, look at the first picture. When we say excellent muffled sound, it means unclear or not easy to hear. هلا if I ask you what is the opposite of broken يعني broken مكسور عكس broken اللي هي intact بمعنى excellent سليم أو غير مكسور. So intact means unbroken. خلينا ناخذ عكس broken اللي هي unbroken or undamaged. Okay, so again muffled adjective that means unclear or not easy to hear, and intact it is another adjective that means unbroken or undamaged. And now, if I ask you, look at this house. Is it in a bad condition or in a good condition? Excellent. It is in a bad condition. So it is dilapidated. Okay, so what do you mean by the adjective dilapidated? Excellent. It means in a bad condition. Again, dilapidated بمعنى in a bad condition. If I ask you to describe this person, excellent. Authoritative. Okay, what do you mean by authoritative? Authoritative بمعنى or you can say also authoritative. Okay, يعني لا بنلفظها authoritative or authoritative. Okay, هلا هاي الصفة بمعنى excellent, commanding and self-confident. يعني هو شخص ذو سلطة أو مسيطر. commanding and self-confident. And now look at this picture. When we say he appears in his customary suit, what do you mean by customary? The adjective customary بمعنى usual or habitual. يعني هي البدلة اللي هو معتاد إنه يطلع فيها بشكل يومي. Okay? So again, customary means usual or habitual بمعنى معتاد. What about isolated? When we say it is an isolated house, so we don't have any people or houses around it. So it means set apart بمعنى معزول from other people or places. Again, customary بمعنى usual or habitual معتاد. Isolated بمعنى set apart from other people or places بمعنى معزول. What about the adjective scornful? What do you mean by scornful? Scornful تيجي بمعنى without respect يعني excellent بدون احترام. Again, when we say scornful voice يعني كان نبرة صوته إنه ما فيها احترام without respect. What about the adjective unobserved? Okay, unobserved إذا observed بمعنى يلاحظ، إذا unobserved تيجي بمعنى without anyone noticing يعني بدون ما يلاحظ علينا أي حدا أو بدون ما يشوفوا أي حدا. So look at this picture. When we say she was unobserved, okay, what do you mean by unobserved? Excellent without anyone noticing. Okay, again, scornful without respect, unobserved بمعنى without anyone noticing. And here I have two adjectives that mean something that is very big or in a large size. They are stout and bulky. So if I want to describe this car that is a stout or bulky car, what do you mean by bulky? It is in a large size. يعني إشي حجمه كبير and you can put something that is very big in it. Okay? Again, stout and bulky mean excellent in a large size. Look at this sign. Is it safe or dangerous to do something? Excellent. It is dangerous. So I have two adjectives that mean dangerous. Dangerous. They are hazardous and treacherous. Hazardous and treacherous mean dangerous. The last two adjectives they are deserted and semi-derelict. Okay. What do you mean by semi-derelict? Excellent. They mean empty or unused يعني مكان خالي من الناس أو مهجور. Deserted من الاسم desert هذول التنتين بيجوا بمعنى خالي أو مهجور. So if I ask you give me two adjectives that mean in a large size, you can say stout and bulky. Give me two adjectives that mean dangerous, excellent, hazardous, and treacherous. What about two adjectives that mean empty or unused, excellent, deserted, and semi-derelict? Okay? And here I have some phrases that you are going to know their meanings. The first one it is hand delivery. If I ask you to give something to someone in person, what do you mean in person؟ يعني انك تسلم شغلة باليد. So hand delivery بمعنى يسلم باليد يعني ممنوع تعطيها لحد تاني. Giving something to someone in person. Here we have nervous sweat. Look at this picture. What do you mean by nervous sweat? A hot feeling because of fear or worry. يعني أنت بتكون خايف أو قلق فبيصيبك يا مس إيش اللي هو خوف فهذا الإشي بسبب لك nervous sweat. أوكي يعني شعور بالتوتر يؤدي إلى excellent to be sweaty. So again nervous sweat a hot feeling because of fear or worry. The last one a sight met his eyes. Okay, what do you mean by this phrase? يعني إشي إجا أمام عينه he saw a particular event or situation. Okay? And now just I want to read the first part of this story in order to know the main event and what happened in this story. So let's start with the title of this episode which is Escape. Okay? The creak of the door or of a door just before dawn woke Jamie. He stared into the darkness. His first thought was that something was wrong. His second was that he couldn't remember where he was. He kept completely still, listening and thinking. إذا the creak of the door بمعنى the sound of the door. صوت الباب يسمى creak. Okay. Woke Jamie. صحى جيمي at dawn كانت تقريبا before dawn قبل الفجر. Stared بمعنى he refers to Jamie. Stare بمعنى look at carefully ينظر بتمعن into the darkness. His first thought was something was wrong. أول إشي فكر فيه إنه في إشي في المكان كان خطأ. His second thought السكند هون بتعود على الثought was he couldn't remember where he was يعني هو مش قادر يتذكر وين المكان اللي هو كان فيه. He kept completely still not moving يعني ضله ثابت في مكانه listening and thinking. بحاول يتذكر شو الأشياء اللي حصلت معه. lying on the earth floor. هو كان مستلقي على الأرض. look at this picture. scattered with dust and hay. كان مغبر ومعبى بالإيش؟ بالقش. and feeling the aching of his muscles. okay, يعني كان بيشعر بألام بعضلاته. ليش مس؟ لأنه هو كان نايم على الأرض. هذا الإشي اللي ساعده إنه يبلش يتذكر the event of the previous day. الأشياء اللي حصلت معه قبل بيوم. هلا من ضمن الأشياء اللي ذكرها the event of the previous day came back to him. أول إشي تذكره his escape from his uncle's house. يعني هروبه من بيت عمه. the hazardous trek across the moor. يعني رحلته الخطيرة كانت في الأرض الواسعة. and the constant watch for pursuit whilst trying to avoid falling amongst the treacherous rocks. اوكي، يعني الاشياء اللي تذكرها اول شيء انه هو هرب من بيت عمه. هلا هو راح in a hazardous trek، يعني كانت رحلته خطيرة لأنه في حدا constant بمعنى continuous watch، كان عماله بضله يتطلع في حدا. كان some people were following him. وبرضه هو he was trying to avoid، يعني إنه كان بيحاول يتجنب إنه يسقط بإيش؟ بالtreacherous rocks اللي هي الصخور الخطيرة اللي كانت في الطريق. أوكي. he slipped his hand inside his coat. أول إشي عمله حط إيده في الكوت اللي كان لابسه. he filled the stiff thick paper. لقى فيه ورقة اللي هي كانت of the document. هو كان معه document that his uncle managed to pass him. مين اللي أعطاه إياها الدوكيمنت؟ his uncle. unobserved. هو اللي وصاه إياه عمه إني أنا بدي إياك without anyone noticing، بدون ما أي حدا يشوفك. for London or hand delivery to London address. أوكي، إذا هسا المين إيفنت في هاي القصة بدك تعرف إنه his uncle gave him a document. أعطاه وثيقة وطلب منه يوصلها hand delivery بمعنى giving something to someone in person. أعطيها باليد to a London address لعنوان في لندن. أوكي، فهذا الشخص اللي هو جيمي will be followed by a group of men. أوكي، يعني راح يلاحقوه جماعة أو رجال in order to take this document. Okay, so if I ask you what's the title of this story or this episode of a story, it is Excellent Escape. Number two, who is the main character in this story? The hero of this story is Excellent. He is Jamie. 3. When and where did the story happen? Tell me about the setting of this story. المكان والزمان اللي حصلت فيه القصة. setting in the barn at dawn. The last one, what did Jamie's uncle give him to deliver to London? شو أعطاه يوصل للندن؟ He gave him excellent document، بمعنى وثيقة حتى يوصلها لمدينة لندن. In order to know what happened with Jamie, in our next lesson, we are going to read another part, so I will stop here today. Thank you very much.